Hi, I'm Lisa Evans, and today I'm chatting with Grace Najean. Hi, Grace, how are you?
Hi, Nisa. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Grace is a personal and professional coach, and she is one of the authors in the book Stories from the Heart Tales of Courage, a collection of true short stories told by some incredible ladies on the theme of courage, having the courage to move on and start a new life, having the courage to say no and to step up and try new things. We've got a great collection of stories for you, and I'm very excited about the book launch coming up shortly. So today Grace is going to tell us a little bit about her story. Tell us about your story, Grace.
Yes, this is just a story about my life. And as a coach now, I think I learned a lot from my own journey. And a coaching journey was not only for clients, but it was more about me and how I can become the person who I am today. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my life journey. Born in Korea and went to France when I was 19, and without knowing any French word and knowing anyone
Wow.
there. And then became Australian, now 7 years ago, and then living in Australia since 11 years. So that was a kind of, changing every 19 years, the continent. So
Yeah.
19 in Korea, 19 in Europe, and then now here 11 years in Australia. There you
And
go.
hopefully permanently in Australia.
Yes, oh, otherwise I still have 8 years to be in Australia. There you go.
Incredible. Three continents in that relatively short period of time. And I can only imagine like going from Korea to living in Paris. That's an incredible transition. How did you feel when you first arrived? You were alone, weren't you? You first arrived as
Yeah.
a young woman alone in this big European city. How did you feel?
I felt Paris was really dirty. That was my
Too
first
many people.
impression.
Okay, yeah.
No, because there are so many
Yeah.
dog poos in the
Okay.
street. When I arrived, it's now changed. But yeah, because Seoul was such a modern city, and then coming from that city to Paris, the old city,
Yeah.
it took me a few years to really appreciate the history and
Yeah.
the old buildings and all that. Um, but first of all, I really learned resilience
Yes.
and tolerance. So first 2 years, I think I had a face cramp because even if I don't understand, I just smiled, all the time. And in the evening, I had such headache, huge headache.
You were learning
Yeah,
English, studying
yeah,
English full time. And it must be, if you can't communicate and you are not proficient in the language, it must be very isolating and lonely if you can't communicate. You must sort of feel. Does it feel frustrating when you can't?
it is frustrating, but when you're young, 19,
Yeah,
you
everything's
just
fun.
you move on. You think this is life, and then you just
Yes.
accept it and do it. Uh, Really, fortunately, I have my husband now, and who was my boyfriend, who really helped me a lot in that during that
Yeah.
journey of transition. But still, we couldn't. Understand each other, communicate each other for almost 2 3 years, only
Yeah.
based in
Yeah.
English. So that was really, I think, a huge journey of understanding myself, how I learn
Yes.
and how I reflect to
Yeah.
other people, even without language.
Yes.
So I think I learned the different sense of communication through that period, understanding people, without language, and a sense the people, and you develop the skills of really adapting and then
Yeah, I
adjusting
guess you
yourself.
have to. You have
Yeah.
to survive and to be able
Yes.
to not be isolated. And you met your now husband. You met him on day one, didn't
That's
you?
right. Yeah, the first day, believe or not, yes.
Did you ask him for directions or something? Or
No, in fact, we were in student
yeah,
residence, international student
yeah.
residence. and I arrived with my two immigration bag, and the door was closed, and there were code key to get into the door, but I didn't have a code, and I was waiting, and then there was a boy, French boy, came with his shopping bags, and with the body language I was explaining because he didn't speak English very well, so bad language and English, a little bit English, and then so he helped me to get into the residence and keep my bags, and I had to go to the bank to change money and all these things. But anyway, so that's how I met my husband, and after the taxi driver was first Frenchman, and then second, yeah, there you go, yeah.
That's an incredible story in itself, but that was the latter part of your story. But before you moved to Paris, you played the piano as a child
Yes.
for many years to an incredible high standard. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So I started the piano age of 4. In fact, 3. But my mom didn't give me buy a piano because I start something. I stop. Started, stop. So she tried with a paper board, a piano keyboard, and apparently I kept doing it for
Loved
6
it.
months. So then she found a piano teacher and bought a piano, and that's how I started at age of 4. And I really loved it. So at age of 5, I started a competition and a concert. So my whole life, 15 years, was playing piano 3 to 5 hours, 6 hours every day. That was all my childhood. And when I was 18, unfortunately, my father had a challenge in his business, financial challenge and his personal challenge. So he couldn't afford my tuition to continue piano. That made me really sick. So I was hospitalized for 3 months. Therefore, I had to stop piano. And I stopped at 1 year school, final year 12, and then I went back to school the following year just to finish my certificate, high school certificate, and that's where I was really not good because I was one of top pianist for my generation in Korea. So my piano level was down, and all my friends, became adults in uni, and I was still a high school student. So that's where my mom really encouraged me. Hey, go somewhere and start a new life, and I just did it.
Nice. So
Did
that's
it?
the
Yeah, so the
transition
pack,
to Paris,
to pack 2 immigration bags, and then up you go.
That's great. And now you're a wonderful and very experienced and qualified coach. So all the experiences that you've had in your life really do shape who you are now and your ability to coach. That incredible focus and discipline from an early age of that playing the piano
Yes.
and just wanting to achieve and be the best possible person and pianist that you can be, and then finding yourself in the new country with that resilience and that determination and overcoming those hurdles and learning to communicate using a multi-sensory approach. All these skills are incredible skills which make you
Thank
the
you.
fabulous lady that you are today.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for chatting to me today and for being in the book. Can't wait till the book's launched. The link to grab your copy is in the text below. And if we want to find out more about you, Grace, can you just tell us your website?
Yes, my website is www.gracecoachingcompany.com. There you go.
Excellent. We'll put that link below as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
Grace.
you, Lisa.